It's October. Everybody's in the mood to talk about horror movies, so I thought it would be fun if I stopped and ranked my top 10 favorite modern horror movies. So let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Geek City. Now, I want to clarify, when I'm saying modern horror movies, I'm thinking of films from the past 10 years. So, in anything from 2014 to 2024 can be on this list, which made it pretty difficult because there were some movies that came out in 2013 and a couple of years before that I thought were really good, and I realized they couldn't be on this list. Like Evil Dead 2013 can't be on this list. Let me know in the comments section what your top 10 favorite modern horror movies are. This is just my opinion. If you have some films that you feel like should have been this list or shouldn't have been this list, let me know in the comment section. We can have a fun discussion. Have a couple more horror movie videos planned. Whenever Smile 2 comes out, I will review that. Or I think it's out, but I haven't seen it yet, so keep in mind that. And I also eventually, I want to do a video where I basically do my top 10 favorite horror movies on October 31st. That's the plan. That could change, maybe it won't happen, but that is the goal right now, is to rank my top 10 just overall favorite horror movies. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comment section down below. I want to do something fun every year for, Halloween. So let's not waste any more time, get straight into this with number 10. So coming in at number 10 on my list is The Babadook. Or Babadook, Babadook. I don't know how you pronounce it. I feel like, but this is a movie. This is one of the oldest movies on this list. I believe it came out in 2014. So yeah, this is one of the older ones. And this is an example of like a great slow horror movie, and it's basically just commenting on like grief. As they put it in the Scream 5, it's a great meditation on motherhood and grief. This is what some people classify as elevated horror. Because it's about like a single mom and there's grief involving her losing a husband. And so although this isn't like a flashy, fast-paced movie with, these brutal kills or anything, it's creepy. Like all throughout the movie with its like slow storytelling and the way it paces out the film with this like mystery of this like kid and like he's screaming, Babadook, Babadook. And so it's just overall a really eerie movie. This is one of those movies that you should, if you get scared easily, you should not watch this movie in the dark by yourself, because it's really creepy. So I really, really enjoyed that film. It's not, the most rewatchable horror movie. Again, it's kind of slow, and it's not a lot of, scary moments, every 2 seconds, but just overall, I really, really, really enjoy that movie. So coming in at number 9, Terrifier 2. By the time I made this list, I had not seen Terrifier 3, so when I made this list, that was not. But you can say Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3. They're on like the same level of quality. I'd say Terrifier 3 is like a little better, but just say number 9 slot is Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3. But here I'm going to be talking about Terrifier 2. So like the first Terrifier is kind of like, as I put it in my ranking, go check it out if you haven't, like a generic horror movie, but it has two things, and that is a great slasher with Art the Clown and good kills. And I feel like this one took everything about that movie and made it like 10 times better with an actual plot, like an actual story going on with real characters to actually care about. Art the Clown gives us some great kills and has some really good final girl with Sienna Shaw, and adds some like lore to Art the Clown about who it is. And so I feel like it could have been a little shorter. It could have been a little shorter. I feel like it didn't need to be 2 hours and 15 minutes. But just overall, I feel like I'm not going to talk about this movie as much as the others because I've done a ranking if you want to see more in depth about it. But they had a bigger budget than they did with the first one, so it's basically just doubling down by making even better kills and actually has something more than just kills. So that's good. Number 8, Get Out. This isn't shocking. Most people I've noticed put this at like number 1, and Jordan Peele's first film showed off his horror chops really well with his first film after, Key and Peele. So, but like what you think about is like, it's like this great thriller, but it turns into a terrifying movie where like brains are getting swapped around in bodies and whatnot. And there's like a really good twist in here involving the girlfriend and what her like actual involvement in the story is and everything with that family, where you don't really know what's going on. You know something's off and something bad and creepy is going on, but you don't really know. There's something off about this family, and as you're going through the movie, and you kind of learn about what's really going on here. Jordan Peele so far, I like his the other two films he's made with Nope and Us. I don't think they're as good as this first one, but they're still really solid. So and I've heard I believe they've announced he's making the fourth film. I don't remember who's attached to it, but I'll be intrigued by that. So number 7 is A Quiet Place. This is another one where A Quiet Place Part 1 and 2 are on like the same level for me. So either one of these could be on here, but this is a great concept for a horror movie with like just not being able to talk. Like you have to be quiet or else these monsters will kill you. Especially considering that they bring in a deaf family member. How does that contribute to the plot? And this obviously had a great team with power couple John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. And so although it's like short, it's like only like an hour and 30 minutes, it has some great characters with this family, and their relationships and dynamics and genuine scares with the people and there are deaths in here that we actually care about with like the last one, which in case you haven't seen it, which I feel like by now everybody's seen it, but in case you haven't, I won't reveal it, but it's a really, really, really good film, from the guy from The Office. But yeah, it's also just that's a cool concept, I feel like. So yeah. Number 6, Smile. Again, when I wrote the script, Smile 2's not out. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know how that would change things. But this is another movie that you should not watch by yourself in the dark if you get scared easily, because there's a lot of like jump scares in here. When this movie first was like announced and like the trailers came out and everything, I didn't really know what to expect. It just kind of looked like a generic like Blumhouse style movie, and I feel like that's kind of what everybody thought. But with word of mouth and the marketing where you would have like random people smiling in like these public events, word of mouth spread pretty quickly that this was a pretty good movie. It's really twisted, and I feel like it does a good job tackling like the effects of self-harm and how that's actually like a theme in the story. And as like our lead is slowly unpeeling this like mystery, and it gets more terrifying as it goes on, where you're like learning about what this like curse is. And that opening scene where the girl with the glass and like, dude, yeah, that was great. And it's absolutely, the ending to this movie is great. I'm excited to see what they do with Kyle Gaynor, Kyle Gallner. That's what I meant to say. I haven't seen the second one, so I don't know what they're doing with him. But I'm intrigued to see how he is involved in the new one. Alright, so, coming in at number 5, Scream 2022. Again, another one where I feel like Scream 6 should be on this list, but I didn't want to include 2 movies from the same franchise. So, this is a great sequel in this obviously iconic horror franchise that is been pretty consistent. I've done a ranking, I just posted it with this October theme, so if you want to go see how I would rank all 6 films, go check that out if you want to. This is commenting on like horror requels, rebooting franchises, but like sequels. And I feel like this movie just introduced a lot of great characters, with the core 4, with Chad and Sam and all those characters. I really enjoyed all the new teenagers in here. It has some brutal kills in it. I feel like 6 surpassed it in kills, but from the first 5 movies, I feel like this one had overall consistent when it came to best kills. Even though Scream 4 still has one of the best kills, which is that Olivia kill. And I feel like as Dewey is my favorite character. I like the way this sends off Dewey. I feel like they could have handled his final scene a little better, but overall I appreciate that he gets a lot of screen time here. And Radio Silence shows off their horror chops in this great slasher sequel. Number 4, Midsommar. Ari Aster's second film does like a great job. I feel like this really nailed in the coffin that he is a good director. Except Beau is Afraid, kind of lost me a little bit, but that's a topic for another time. So this film, his first two movies really did a good job tackling like trauma and grief. And this film, this is a great job tackling trauma where our lead character has gone through stuff involving her family and what happened with her sister. And has some interesting characters that ends. And like the ending of this movie, questioning about what happens, and it leaves you very morally confused. Because like you're really, you're happy that Florence Pugh's character is happy, but it's also like really messed up what happens. And the boyfriend, I forget his name, Trevor or something. No, not I'm thinking of Friday 13th. Is a character that I feel like is really been controversial with people, where some people hate him and so others think like he was in a relationship with someone. He wanted to break up with her, and then like she went through a traumatic thing with her family, so he's like, oh, I guess I'll stay with her. And so some people argue he's, you know, manipulative, which he's an interesting character. I on one hand, he does some things and you're like, you're kind of being a jerk. On the other hand, you can tell he doesn't want to be in this relationship, but he stayed in it because she just lost her family, and so he's not gonna break up with her when she just went through that. But like it again, it's really interesting. And so again, that's just some of the things about this movie really thought provoking with that and the ending where you're like, okay, she's all these people are, you know, they're not great people, but and she's happy, which she's gone through a lot of terrible things in this movie. So we're happy that she's happy, but like, no, this is not good. This is not good at all. This movie also has a great score with some really like gross and brutal moments. With the hair, you know, if you when they the hair in the mouth, you know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. And this has one of my favorite endings from horror movies. I love this ending with the bear and the house burning and the score, how it changes from like, you know, happy with the as she stares with the with that big flower gown on, and then it turns into like really really bad, and they start screaming, and it's a really messed up ending. It's one of my favorite horror movie endings. But yeah. Number 3, It, from 2017. This is adapting the first half of Stephen King's iconic Killer Clown novel. I feel like this movie had perfect casting, just all across the board, whether it came to the Losers Club, which had great chemistry, along with Pennywise the Clown. This has some like really scary moments, and I feel like that first scene just really shows you that they are not holding back with what he does to Georgie, and gave us another iconic horror icon. And I feel like the writing, the dialogue in here, I really like with like the kids. Like it feels like conversations that kids would have. So the casting with that and like the chemistry along with all the losers was really good. I feel like, you know, there's some bad CGI, which seems to be a thing with Andy Muschietti. And so hopefully if he's directing Batman Brave and the Bold, you know, he kind of chills out with that. But I feel like this movie could probably have been number 2 if the sequel didn't fumble the bag. Like, I feel like that sequel, I don't hate it. I like it. It's rewatchable. Like, if I'm gonna watch the first one, I usually do like to watch the second one like right after. Like, but the sequel I haven't talked about on this channel, but you know it has a great job casting the adult losers. I feel like they did a great job with that, but and in some ways it does a good job finishing the story. In other hands, I'm like, I don't know about this. Number 2, Talk to Me. This was one of my favorite movies from last year when I did that ranking. I didn't expect this movie to be so good. And this movie, like, all shows the consequences of the characters' actions, because they're all like messing around with this like demonic force with the hand, and because of that, there's some really just messed up stuff in here that happens involving that main kid where he like opens his eye and like yeah, this gross stuff. That scene alone was like, oh, whoa, yeah. And the rest of the movie is also terrifying. There's some like pretty decent jump scares in here. It's pretty short, and so you're just seeing this the lead character like falling apart as she's talking with her dead mom. And the ending in here is pretty good with the car accident and whatnot. But number 1, this is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I've talked about it like a little bit, but Hereditary. So this was Ari Aster's first film, and it blew. I'm pretty sure it blew like everyone away. Like the first 30 minutes of this movie just shows you how messed up it's gonna be with the head and the pole thing. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. And it only goes down there from here, where you see this family like slowly just falling apart. With some great acting from like every single one of the family members. And it has some really creepy moments in here all throughout the film. This is another one where it's kind of slow paced. I feel like I have a good mix of like fast paced action, like horror movies, like, you know, Terrifier, like slashers, and It, but then you have and Scream, and then you have other ones like, you know, Midsummer and Babadook that are kind of slowly, you know, peeling apart the. So that's one where you're seeing this family just like falling apart because of this like curse. And the ending is wild. You kind of just have to. It's kind of, you don't really know what's happening, which I feel like is kind of the same with Midsommar, where you're like, that's crazy. Where do we go from here? Again, Ari Aster's one where I loved. I really, obviously, both of his first two movies are on here, but Beau is Afraid was so. It's not good. It was really bad. So his first two movies were great, and then the third one was just like, so I'm still excited whenever he makes a new movie. I think he's working on it right now with Emma Stone. Let me check. Pastor Emma, right? Yeah, he's doing a movie with Emma Stone and Austin Butler, Pedro Pascal, Joaquin Phoenix. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Dang, that's a pretty good cast. Okay, I'm excited for that now. But anyway, let's actually talk about that's it. That's my top 10 favorite modern horror movies. Make sure to let me know in the comments what your favorite modern horror movies are. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, turn on notifications for all my future horror videos for October and just future videos down the line. And as always, you know how it is, stay freaky. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say stay freaky because, it's October, Freaktober, you know what I mean? Alright, stay geeky.